Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
We begin tonight with breaking news as Fargo police are asking for help in finding a missing 13-year-old girl.
Carlise Ditch was last seen walking home with a friend around midnight in the Osgood neighborhood in South Fargo. Carlise disappeared after the two separated near her home, and she has not been in contact with family or friends. She's 5 feet 9 inches tall, 160 pounds, with blonde hair and green eyes. She was last seen wearing a purple and white jacket, black yoga pants, and a white sweater. If you have any information, you can call police at 235-4493.
I believe that if you explain to them what they're saying, a lot of them probably don't even realize what they're swearing about.
A new policy at a Fargo middle school could easily prompt some discussion at your Thanksgiving table tomorrow.
Discovery Middle School is trying to deal with a growing problem, one that's likely happening at your child's school too: swearing. Valley News Team's Melanie Palmer explains what's happening at Discovery.
I believe that we all do a little swearing when we're, maybe hit your hand with the hammer or something.
We all know them, and many of us say them, swear words. But what about in the classroom?
I'd put them in timeout or something and talk to them and make sure they don't ever do it again.
Discovery Middle School has some new policies that are hoping to stop students from swearing at school. If a student mistakenly swears, they will be sent to the office. But if they swear at a staff member, they'll have to go home. And the jury is out on if this is good or bad.
I think it's right, and children shouldn't be swearing.
I don't think that's a very good idea. I think more of teaching them a lesson of what they're saying.
Sharon Whitebear has a son who has been in the Fargo school district since he was 3. She says he doesn't swear. She thinks the school should better educate the students on the meaning of the words.
We have jobs. Yeah, we're adults, but we don't get sent home for swearing. They're learning, that's their job. I always tell my son that's your job when you went to school.
But one thing these two can agree on is that children seem to be swearing at a younger age. They think they know where the kids are getting it from.
More things can be shown on television now than, there was censored things that were very simple. Now you can say it anywhere, on the radio, in the music, and they just think it's appropriate, I think.
We reached out to some schools in the FM area. West Fargo and Moorhead both do not have any swearing policies. They do have, though, consequences for any disrespectful or discriminatory language. And here at Discovery Middle School, the policies will go into effect on Monday. In the FM area, Melanie Palmer, Valley News Live.
This swearing policy includes the use of racial epithets. The school says that certain words or labels are acceptable outside of the classroom, but they'll get booted if they use them in school. Parents with any questions are being told to contact the main office at Discovery Middle School.
When it comes to the weather, we're rolling into the Thanksgiving holiday on a good note. Will it stay that way? Let's find out from Robert in the Weather Center. Robert?
Yeah, for the most part, it will stay that way. A chilly overnight tonight, and then some warmer weather makes its way onto the region as we head through the Thanksgiving holiday. Still a few slick spots left over in far northeastern North Dakota and northern Minnesota. Keep that in mind if traveling tonight or early tomorrow. Quite a range in temperatures. Teens, 20s, and 30s out there. 14 in Cavalier, 17 in Bemidji, 29 here in Fargo, and 37 down into the Sisseton area. Winds light. They're going to remain relatively light as we head through the overnight hours. Picking up out of the south tomorrow, a bit breezy, 5 to 15 miles per hour with some stronger gusts. Wind chills, a mix of some teens and 20s in most areas. A bit of low cloudiness has sagged off towards the south, and we'll see a bit of cloudiness in a few areas overnight tonight. Underneath those clouds, no precipitation out there, none anticipated. A dry Thanksgiving, but we do have a little bit of rain and snow on that 7-day forecast, and we'll show you all that coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Robert.
An ex-priest accused of molesting 2 young boys in Fargo churches in the 90s will finally be flown back to the U.S. to face the charges after nearly 2 decades hiding in the Philippines. The Philippine government is preparing to extradite Fernando Sayasaya after he was arrested over the weekend. His return date is still not known, but Cass County State's Attorney Birch Burdick says when he does come back to Fargo, he'll get off easier than he would if the charges were filed today.
In the ensuing years from when we charged it in 2002 to now, this kind of activity has been elevated as a higher level crime than it was back then.
The Cass County State's attorney would not go into detail about the victims, but he says he will use all appropriate witnesses to support the charges.
Roads in the area are expected to be busy from now until turkey time, but the same cannot be said for airports in the region. AAA is projecting that about a fifth of residents in the upper Midwest will be traveling this Thanksgiving. The 7-state region, that includes North Dakota and Minnesota, will see the greatest share of people traveling over the holiday, 19.5%. That compares with 15.6% nationwide. AAA also says more than 90% of travelers in the region will travel by vehicle, while about 5% will fly. The rest will take trains, buses, or cruises. Thanksgiving travel regionally and nationally is expected to be up 3% from a year ago.
A trip or tumble onto the ice can bring serious injuries, especially for older folks. Knowing how to land can make a big difference. That's later on Valley News Live at 10.
But first, the night before Thanksgiving, or Drinksgiving, as some call it, brings a huge profit to local bars. Cops in the area want you to know they're out.